Hello and welcome to Joy of Books with me, Miss Joy. Today's novel is The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. Released in 1952 and a totaling 126 pages, it is a classic novella. It won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 1953. Sharing his views on the book today is author and teacher T.C.
Thank you, Miss Joy. Yes, you're quite right. The Old Man and the Sea is an absolute classic, and it really showcases Ernest Hemingway's writing talents. You quite rightly stated there that it won the Pulitzer Award, and it is indeed viewed as one of his most enduring works. The book is about an aging Cuban fisherman called Santiago. Unlucky for him, he hasn't caught a fish in 84 days. So his young assistant, Manolin, young boy, is told by his parents that he has to go and work on the luckier boat. So it seems that everything's failing Santiago, everything's falling apart in his life. He's not catching fish, he's aging, he's feeling his age every single day. And Manolin, the young boy who is his kind of inspiration, or the person who helps him the most, is removed from his employee. So he's in a difficult situation, but despite that, he continues to go out and fish. That's the essence of the story. He is a fisherman at heart, and that's what he was put on this planet to do. Of course, the story recounts this 3-day struggle with a 30-foot marlin fish. The idea of this man against beast is obviously a theme that's been revisited many times in literature. Of course, Moby Dick, Jaws, to name but many. And we see that in films as well. But the description and the detail in Hemingway's writing style, of course, simple, but of course, incredibly effective. The descriptions, for example, of the fishing aspect of the book are, really minute. It talks about the way of cutting the fish, the way of laying them out. There's even a part where it talks about using the salt sea water, having that in the bottom of the boat so that when it dries out in the sun, it creates salt, and that salt could be used to preserve the fish. I mean, for me to remember that in itself should tell you just how incredibly detailed it is in terms of the fishing aspect of this book. But in terms of narrative style, there's a whole lot more to it than descriptions of fishing techniques. So the narrative style really shows this man over time, battling with his health, his will, his own strength and belief. And I think the moral of the story really is that man can be destroyed to a degree, but not necessarily defeated, despite intense mental and physical feats of endurance. The main character, Santiago, certainly has this respect for the fish, which develops even further throughout the story. I don't think it will be too much of a spoiler for me to say that he does catch the fish, but when he tethers it to his boat, unfortunately, sharks prey upon it and leaves just this 30-foot kind of carcass with its skin and meat stripped from it by sharks on the return to shore. So it is quite a sad story. And again, the Santiago character kind of shows lament and regret really in the way that this majestic fish has suffered. So it really is a metaphorical work, and the symbolism really emanates from this story is fantastic to read. Like I say, I remember enjoying it when I was at college over 30 years ago. I enjoyed it a second time. I'm not sure if the novella has aged incredibly well. I'd be very interested to know what a modern reader would think of it. When I checked out review sites, for example, a lot of people who'd last read it, maybe in college or at school, actually quite enjoyed it, reading it now that they're older, because they could really relate to it and understand the kind of key themes. Interestingly, as well, on American review sites, a lot of the American reviews are very, very high, but less so in Europe and the UK. So again, it could be Americans celebrating one of their own. Ernest Hemingway, considered to be, I'd say, one of the top 3 writers in American literature. But there's no doubt that the story itself is timeless, and I would put this book in that category as a timeless classic for sure. So I'd certainly recommend this book.
Well, thank you very much for your review of the book, TC. The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway is available from all good book outlets. Thank you for joining me, and please remember to like and subscribe to my channel, Joya Books.